Hi, welcome to the podcast. I have been off for a couple of weeks just because of the intensity of it all, but I'm still really feeling that this is going to be a short one tonight. It's been very intense. I don't know what everyone has been feeling, but go into a little description of what I've been feeling and a lot of what my friends have been feeling as well. It's quite the intensity. It's quite One moment you may feel blissful and loving, to the next minute you may be feeling depressed and just overwhelmed, to where you wake up feeling like you got hit by a truck. Other mornings, it could be you're just so thankful to be here, to where everything and anything that is not aligned with you will be brought to the surface. Situations, people, old decisions, you name it, it's all coming up. And how you respond or how you react to it is key. It is. It's quite the trying time. As with all the other craziness that seems to be going on in this world, lots of things are being revealed. Every day, more and more things are being brought up to the surface, but not everybody has the eyes to see. So it's really having us look at things in a different perspective, even for the ones who see through all the BS. It's having us respond in a totally different way. It's having us to look at it through a neutral observation. But if you're being triggered, it's okay too. Because our triggers just show us where we need to love ourselves more. And this is what this has all been about, is loving ourselves, to becoming aligned more with ourselves. Now the outer authority no longer will dictate what we do and how we feel. We are beginning to step into this as ourselves. And anything that is false, anything that we have been hiding from, anything that we think that we are has to be totally demolished. The ego death, the spiritual ego death. I know I've talked about this a million times on my podcast, but it's the name of the game. And the more that we hold on tightly to something, the more it's going to come back and show us exactly what we need to see if you're willing to look at that. So I know with me, I've been experiencing a lot of just body issues. And I asked myself, why am I going through this yet again? When I was just starting to feel better, I get the old aches and pains and the stuffiness, and um, why am I going through this? Why am I seeing this now? Why again and again and again and again? When we come down here, we choose certain experiences that we want to look at further in detail, that we want to dive into it and to know it backward and forward. And yet again, here's another turnaround on this beautiful spiral of life as to what I am about, what I'm not about, where am I still acquiescing, where am I still giving away my power. These were all very big common themes in my life. So, yet again, here I am to look at them, but through different eyes, through a different wisdom, or perhaps we didn't learn it the first time around, but here we are diving into it again. Or perhaps knowing exactly what I need to look at, but seeing it in that different perspective and loving and forgiving myself through it all is what's needed right now. Because when we learn to love ourselves and forgive ourselves and to honor ourselves, we begin to do that in the outside world. And what's going to be coming up is going to be very unnerving, but we need to see it from a different perspective of things had to be pushed to this level, to this way, for people to grow, for us to grow. The biggest growth we've ever had, ever, was when we are met with adversity. And that's when we grow the most. That's when we think outside the box. That's when we come up with solutions instead of sitting there and whining and bitching about it. I was always playing the victim role throughout, especially my young adult years. I had a lot of anger and a lot of angst and a lot of regret and a lot of codependency, which kept me in that cycle. And now having to look at it through this intensity and through this, okay, here's your next level of awareness coming through. Where am I still playing the victim? Where am I still not loving myself to the way I'm supposed to? And to be gentle with myself with that. Still, as I go through this, I've been doing it a long time, a decade, well, over a decade now. Oh gosh. And you have to really look at it. You have to really see, okay, I'm committing to you, I'm committing to yourself, committing to the highest aspects of yourself, showing you exactly what you need to see. But I know that I had to die many, many ego deaths. I still have many spiritual ego deaths where you have a blank slate and you don't know where to go. You don't know who to be. You just are. And that's when we can surrender. We don't have to put up a fake facade. We don't have to pretend, because you are just you. And there's nothing else more freeing than that. Because every time I come to that cliff, I'm looking over it, and there's nothing there, as all the old stuff is behind me, and there's nowhere else to go but into the abyss of nothingness. And once I do that, you're free. You don't have any expectations, you don't have any identity. This is what I think I am, or this is what I know I am, to you just are. So for that moment, you're free. But then the life comes in. The demands of being a mom, to a daughter, to an ex, to you name it. We are always being asked to step into roles, step into these things that we have to do. We have to do this, we have to do that, we have to go to our job, we have to do it, you know. The more I go down this journey, the more it's getting harder and harder to do the things that are expected of you from other people. When I am on the phone with somebody, I talk about connections. I talk about um, common themes going through our lives. I talk about like almost missions, but yet not missions. I talk about a higher way of being, consciousness. I talk about what we have in common and what we really want out of life. And I find myself trying to get back to the mission of the call, or the mission of why we're here. And then I still find sometimes that also has to be dissolved. And some people can meet me there and some people can't. And I still sometimes have troubles meeting others' expectations because I I just want to be free. Like I know that we are to be free. That's how we're designed to be. And to put myself in a box again is very hard. And I know that I work for a mission that's greater than I could possibly imagine. Um, on one hand, and on another hand, I work for a mission that is very 4D, and trying to meld the both of those is becoming a little bit more difficult every day. On the other hand, we have to bring the higher ideals and the values of living back to this this world that we're living in. But the demands and the have to do's and need to do that this ways are finding it more increasingly difficult. Because what I'm finding is that I just want to talk about the higher qualities of life, the how we're all one, to seeing things from a different perspective. When what my job is to go through this 4D and talk about missions and how things, um, it's a spiritual warfare. But I know why that is a spiritual warfare is because we're here to claim our souls. We're here to claim ourselves. And but then there's a big part of me that doesn't reside there anymore. So that's the intensity that we're living now. Is what we're willing to be, to talk about, to place our attention on, or do we place it on something that is so far different than what we're used to? The intensity. It's like we're on fire here. and all the old, it just can't go with us. It just can't. Maybe old relationships, which I'm seeing with just my onslaught of the whole high school reunion was right here in my face. Did go. I didn't feel the need to go. Do I still like talking to some of the people I went to high school? Of course. Do I find it increasingly um, to find the similarities that we used to have more difficult? Yes. Yes, indeed. The underlying basis of everything is love. That's always there. But the commonalities and what we choose to focus on are two different, two totally different. And it is hard to listen to the how's the weather, listening to sports or whatever the case may be, and not what's really important. So that's why at any of these gatherings, it's like, oh, Chrissy's gonna ask the questions. Here she goes, and I do. I want to know, how are you really doing? Not what you pretend to be on the outside. How are you really feeling? What's going on in your world, really? Those are the conversations I want, not the speed. Hi, how are you? These are my kids. This is what I'm doing. Blah blah blah. Okay, next. Hi, how are you? How you been? Blah blah blah. I want it real. I want real. I don't want the fake. And this what this intensity is about is finding what's real. But even that, what is real? What's feelings and emotions? Feelings are real. And of course, emotions, they pop in as real. But what is real? The intensity of now, of the landscape coming up tomorrow, is really bringing it up to the surface. We can't be fake. We can't, we have to be transparent with everything. Can't get away with it anymore. Oh, I'm fine. How are you? When you're not. And it's okay to say you're not. It's okay to feel like shit. It's okay to feel. That's what's going to be very interesting watching as people who have not felt have to be thrown into that cacophony of having to feel again, where that scares them beyond belief. It's going to be very interesting. We need to be very, very compassionate and understanding with each other in the next month. Very, very passionate. Just the passions that are going to come up, the confusion, the disbelief. It's all coming to a head. So we need to prepare for ourselves for this by giving each other love, respect, compassion, understanding. The ones that went through it before, remember what it was like. It wasn't easy. Your whole world crashing down around you over and over and over again. We have to be patient. We have to be loving. Because this time is here and is now. That's all I got for tonight. Like I said, I'm just exhausted. The intensity is beyond measure. Yesterday, I was just sitting on the couch crying because I was just feeling love. And today, I'm just feeling exhaustion. So every moment is what it is, and to embrace that, to feel that. These are going to be the most interesting times that we've ever experienced here on Earth. From being in complete and total darkness to stepping into the brightest light we've ever seen. That goes outside and inside of us. Time to face that darkness. Time to shine our light through that darkness. And you see it that it's not so dark. It was just designed to be that way, to have us realize who the hell we are. The other day, I was reminded who we are by having energy present in the house that I had to send back to the light. The intensity that came out of me to send this energy back to the light was something I haven't felt in a while. It was good. It reminds me who I am and who you are, the power that you have within. You are untouchable. You are the greatest design ever made. The intuition, the energy force that comes from you, because it is you, is something I can't describe. And this is all within you. We just have to begin to trust that that is what we are. So with that being said, I'm going to sign off for tonight and just chill, relax, and listen to things that inspire you, that help you remember who you are. And if it resonates, great. If this doesn't, great too. Thank you. Have a beautiful night. Bye-bye.